What's up, everybody? I'm David Hain. Welcome to episode 75 of the A to D from Addict to Disciple podcast. If you enjoy these podcasts, please share the link with your friends. If you'd like to support our work with people caught in the snare of addiction, homelessness, or incarceration around the world, click on the support link in this episode's description. Your donation of any amount could change a life. When we come back, we'll get into this episode entitled Shared Pain, the Key to Gain. Welcome back to episode 75 of the A to D from Addict to Disciple podcast, entitled Shared Pain, the Key to Gain. Today's episode will be another group session. I want to thank all of the listeners for your feedback, asking for more group sessions, and giving suggestions for topics. I'm honored to have the same friends in recovery from the U.S., South Africa, and Australia sharing their hurts, their hearts, and their hopes in this group. As before, I'll be keeping them anonymous, but I'll be saying their answers as if we were having a group meeting. So here goes. We've heard thousands of times, no pain, no gain. But I believe we should be saying, shared pain is the key to gain. So, guys, how have you gained through this group on the podcast and other groups that you have been open and transparent in? Ben, you closed off the meeting last week. How would you like to start it off this week? I'd love to, David, because this topic is a great question. And yes, this has been a great group with way too many benefits to probably list and talk about. But for me personally, it is a blessing to know that I have a place to let out what is inside of me, and to know that in some way, some shape, some form, it might help somebody, even if it's just on the level of someone knowing that they are not alone in the struggle, or even in their victory. Another gain for me has been to look at the question or topic each week and sit back and listen to what is in another person's heart. One of my favorite Bible verses says that, quote, "We have this treasure in earthen vessels," unquote. I love that, because as you go to these kinds of groups and open up and listen to others open up, you begin to see the treasure chest on the inside of them. And they open it up, and you get to look in through their words and see what's going on inside of them. A lot of times for me personally, I felt like I didn't have anything to offer, or what I had to offer maybe wasn't helpful, but then you get feedback saying that it was. But what's really great is to listen to someone else's perspective, and it helps dramatically change the way you see your situation. Bottom line, the same high I used to anticipate from drugs, I get off waiting to see with anticipation what the other people in the group are going to say. It's exciting to get excited about someone else's perspective on recovery and sobriety. For me, it takes the sting and desire out of turning to the alternative chemical romance I used to love so much. Wow. Great start, Ben. I love how you anticipate these groups the same way you anticipated the highs, and as you said, that chemical romance in your addiction. Wouldn't it be awesome to anticipate each episode with the intensity of that same chemical romance? What do you think, Adam? I totally agree, David. Shared pain is the key to my recovery. to have someone who shares with me the pain and the suffering that they have dealt with in their life is amazing. It helps me to connect and to see ways to overcome my own struggles. It helps me to see that someone else had the same pain and that I'm not alone in this journey. We pick things up as we go along, and we develop connections that are genuine and are 100% real, unlike in addiction. Each day is still a struggle, and I try to be a better man by giving my love and appreciation to others who are on this journey with me. Thanks, David. Harry, what do you think about today's topic? David, I definitely agree with the no pain, no gain statement. The withdrawals are a horrendous nightmare. It felt as if I was going to die every day for 3 straight weeks. Quitting drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes all at once with no medication or any methadone was an absolute nightmare and the worst pain I have ever felt. I was driven so close to relapse due to the emotional and physical pain. But by the grace of the Lord, I never gave in. The only way I have managed to get through my breakthrough and this new life of staying clean was because of groups like this. Listening to other people share their experiences and their strengths, and then being able to use it in my personal recovery. Try it their way when things were not stable with me. The amount of information I got from going to daily meetings was a huge contributor to my recovery. In my town, there's an AA meeting every day of the week and 2 NA meetings a week, so you definitely have somewhere to go for daily support. I also did my church services on a weekly basis and joined the support groups on the days that I was free. It was an absolute blessing. Sharing our experiences is extremely helpful, and I enjoy and even rely on online services and brilliant podcasts like the ones that provide. It's so useful in recovery to know that you're not alone in this. Listening to others share their pain gives you a reassurance that there is another person out there who has walked down your path and successfully conquered the same addiction. The advice and firsthand knowledge you get in these groups, no doctor can ever give you, unless he has walked in your shoes. I have grown stronger during these last few months, and with this type of support structure and a couple of other groups that I belong to, we all try to be there for one another on the various online platforms. Sharing our keys to success and recovery is the best gift any addict can receive. Sure, that is awesome stuff, Harry. And let me repeat that last statement that you said. Sharing our keys to success and recovery is the best gift any addict can receive. Do you get that? As you share your thoughts, you're actually giving the best gift someone still struggling can ever receive. Charlie, I see you just shaking your head crazy in agreement. What do you think? Well, David, shared pain is the key gain. I'd say that has given me the gift of not feeling alone. Others sharing what life has been like for them and how they have been able to overcome it or to keep going on has changed how I see my own life. It helped me learn why I drank so much and used drugs when I really didn't want to. The fact that so many people in so many different groups were willing to share openly helped me to find the courage to share. It started out as a bunch of trauma vomit, to be honest, then developed into loving honesty, and now I'm someone who just shares hope that I can recover and maybe someone else can catch on to that same hope. This group, as many as other groups, also gives me new brothers. I feel a strong bond to the other guys in this group podcast. My family continues to grow. I don't forget that time when I was alone, but now I can understand why I was alone. I was gripped by darkness. Today I choose to live in the light with God and His people, as together we let Jesus guide our footsteps. This group has helped me not feel alone or different in that respect too. Faith-based recovery can be looked down on in some other recovery areas or pathways. Like, you can't say that stuff here. I remember having that feeling and thought, wow, I'm in the good place now, and people still have something bad to say about what I'm doing. But here, David, in these podcasts, I hear others say they are following and have faith. I support anyone's pathway to recovery, and I'm thankful that this group allows us to live in the light of the Lord, should we choose to. I also know that I'm responsible for my own recovery, not anyone else's. But I'm here to help if someone reaches out. I love this group. I thank God for all of you in my life on this journey. Gary, what would you like to add? I do believe that there is no pain, no gain, as I have lived it. However, I relate very much to your take on it where you say shared pain is the key to gain. As I was wont to do, I pretty much got accustomed to shouldering my pain or burden, being mostly a loner. It seemed natural to me to do that. Halfway into my incarceration time, I was fortunate to be part of a therapy group that got together once a week. For the first time in my life, I felt inclined to reach deep inside and reveal things that I had not shared before. Things like rejection, low self-esteem, and a continual sense of underachievement which stemmed from my childhood, which I discovered later in this group environment. All of this was contrary to my nature, as it revealed flaws and weaknesses within me and went against everything I placed value in, which was very specifically that I be strong, capable, and self-assured. Of course, all of that was a front, a long-held pretense. Opening up in this way and sharing who I really was in this group has a mixed impact on me, in that I initially felt naked and exposed, but later I started feeling lighter, more relaxed, and myself, really. The true me, with all the scars and all the scabs, were getting exposed. But interacting with others on this level made me realize that I was able to relate to others and them to me. Sharing our burdens and finding common ground translated into sharing our pain and our flaws. I find this same experience within this current podcast, with the addition of discovering that I am still learning into my 60 years old about who I am and what I'm capable of achieving, with the notable difference that I know I am not alone. Dante, do you agree with Gary on not feeling alone? I do, David. And the first thing that comes to mind in the shared pain is this. It's from James 5:16. Therefore, confess your sins to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person has great power, and it is working. I think by simply admitting to sin, expressing pain or grief or frustration or whatever that may be to someone else is only the first part. I believe it is maturity to take that full circle and actually confess what your sin is or confess what your struggles are so that you can be praying for and get prayed for and be healed. The healing happens with good godly relationships, and healing takes time. But it is biblical maturity to do that very thing. I don't want to take my experience or opinions and have them overrule or somehow overshadow what the Bible says. I believe I need to take it plainly and work through with others my shared pain and to learn and to grow how best to walk through those issues of life. You see, it's about having relationship. And when we can walk through some deep, dark things, which I did with one brother, he was able to hear and help me process, pray for me, and support me as I worked through those issues and got past them. Eddie, would you like to bring us to a close today? Sure, David. I find that by opening up, it becomes easier for you to relate and gain from others' experiences. Your podcasts are eye-openers of the very real situations that others are going through as well, not just yourself. Knowledge is power. So I take all the info I can get from the podcasts and various group chats to be able to give feedback and advice to my family and friends that are struggling with addiction. Shaw, guys, thank you for another amazing group. You truly are an inspiration to many people around the world, and I thank you again for your openness in sharing. Thanks for listening to this episode of the A to D from Addict to Disciple podcast. I hope you have enjoyed today's words from our group. If you would like one-on-one counseling or to launch or join a group like this one using the podcasts or the From Ashes to Destiny curriculum, please send me a message by email at davidfromatod@gmail.com or go to my website www.fromatod.org and click on the contact page. You can find the From Ashes to Destiny curriculum on Amazon in paperback and as an ebook on Kindle. Tune in on Monday for our next episode, and as always, stay safe and stay strong.